It's 6 a.m. The neighborhood is completely still, and the inside of the house is entirely dark, until a light cuts right through the hallway. I walk into my teenager's room, switch on the overhead light, and physically shake him awake. I have to do it aggressively, knowing we're fighting the clock to get him to school. Every morning, I wonder why we put them through this. This daily struggle represents a conflict between a teenager's biological clock and the infrastructure of the modern school day. Scale that friction beyond one household, and you see this happening to millions of teenagers every single morning. Only a tiny fraction of them are actually getting the 8 to 10 hours of sleep their bodies need to function. This chart shows the root cause of that deficit. On the top timeline, we have the required 8 to 10 hour sleep block. Below it, a harsh vertical line represents a typical school start time of 7:30 a.m. There is a massive deficit gap between the biological need and the societal rule. Every morning, that alarm clock acts as a barrier, stopping the sleep cycle hours before it's naturally finished. The reason teens can't just go to bed earlier is physical. During puberty, a teenager's internal biological clock undergoes an involuntary shift forward. This chart maps a teen's circadian rhythm. Sleep readiness stays flat, only spiking after 11 p.m. A 6 a.m. alarm aggressively truncates this cycle, represented by the red zone. This lost phase is a crucial window for building complex learning, emotional control, and decision-making. We are interrupting the specific biological processes required to build a healthy adult brain. This biological interruption spills out into their daily lives in highly visible ways. We often label the results as teenage angst, the irritability, and the lack of motivation. In many cases, these are the observable symptoms of chronic systemic exhaustion. To survive the day, teenagers rely on caffeine and energy drinks, forcing their bodies to function in an artificial state of alertness that biology isn't prepared for. This graph illustrates the documented mental health consequences of that sleep loss. As the hours of sleep drop along the bottom axis, the data shows a sharp, steady rise in clinical risk factors like anxiety, depression, and self-harm. Physical health risks compound alongside the mental ones. Sleep deprivation is linked to higher risks of obesity, heart problems, and diabetes over time. Then there is the immediate danger. Getting just 5 hours of sleep impairs a teenager's brain to a level similar to being legally intoxicated behind the wheel. When we force human biology to follow an industrial schedule, we leave an entire generation simultaneously exhausted and in constant physical danger. Experts offer a data-backed solution. Push the systemic clock to start no earlier than 8:30 a.m. That single hour of realignment produces immediate results. Students get more sleep, student attendance rises, and dropout rates fall. The negative symptoms begin to reverse. Mental health stabilizes, academic performance improves, and teen car accidents drop significantly in districts that have made the switch. The primary obstacle is the massive logistical effort required to alter bus networks, sports schedules, and daily family routines. But we have to weigh those inconveniences against the results we're seeing. Are the hurdles of a new schedule more important than the physical safety and future potential of millions of young adults? Right now, the early morning alarm clock is a structural failure. It isn't just waking them up, it's acting as an anchor, actively